Good morning. I'm just going to play a 10-minute game and see what happens. I'm very tired this morning. First 10-minute game didn't record properly, went really badly. Second 10-minute game, we both played really badly, but it did record. That was for the Norwegian viewers. Okay, great. 2 knights attack, yeah, and we're going to go the Ulvestad variation, sometimes known as the Polari, I think. Palerio. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Nobody expects the Ulvestad variation, or two main weapons are fear, surprise, and terror. Sorry, or three. No. Come on. Where did I get that from? You know, Ben. Okay, so I get my pawn back. I am a pawn down. I've got 6 pawns against 7, but he's going to have trouble defending all those pawns. And his bishop is, of course, threatened. His best move is to come back to c1 with the bishop and defend the pawn on b2. But they don't often see it that way. They often try something fancy like queen here. Okay. Or taking the pawn there. So I'm just going to castle. And he might defend the pawn. Okay, I didn't defend the pawn. That's great. Now, of course, I'm looking to play bishop here and threaten the rook, and then play rook to e8. But I get to play bishop here and threaten the queen, and then I can play rook here and threaten the queen. He thinks he ends up with 2 threats, but he doesn't, because when I threaten the queen, I can then play bishop here check to escape the bishop from the threat, and then I can move the bishop out of the way. So bishop here check, as I said. Well, I'm going to retreat like this, encourage him to come forward with that pawn. I will, of course, just take it. It's pinned. The f pawn is pinned. Maybe I should have just taken pawn here, but you know. Okay, my opponent's just saying that we both played very badly. He said a terrible game, and it is. We both played badly, but you know. I'm just going to chase that away. Could actually have just played I'll come here with a rook. I should really just have, instead of letting him get his knight back here, I should have just taken. Never mind. I'm now threatening to take the pawn on on f3. He can't take back, otherwise I'll go queen takes and that'll be mate. But yeah, I agree with my opponent. Play back. Oh well, he's thinking that he can play. Yeah, but that doesn't work. Yeah, he's thinking he can pin the bishop to the queen, and he can. But then I take the other pawn anyway, and then I come to e7 check, e2 check. And he takes with a king, and he can't then defend the rook anymore. So that's actually just a free pawn. Yeah. But what are you going to do about that, my friend? Can't even type now. But I think I'm in a winning position now, because his only way of defending, I could take the rook and then I just take the pawn. Take the queen, sorry. The queen for a rook down. And I've got the two bishops. Alright, he's got a pawn for his troubles, but it's not a pawn which will make him happy. And I can always come back to I can always come to f2 with the queen and then come back to f3 with the bishop to threaten mate on g2. It can't defend on g1 because the bishop takes. Just tell my opponent that I'm recording the game for my YouTube channel. He says it's great. And luckily I don't mind looking bad, and I don't. He's asked for a replay and he's entitled to one. Okay, he's playing the French. I'm going to play my usual knight f3. Yep. I love it when they push the pawn forward. Because that pawn is lost now. You can't defend it. You can, of course, swap it for the c pawn. Then I get the big centre, and he hasn't got the same opportunities to go to attack against it. Well, can't I just take that pawn anyway and play that? And now even if he plays the bishop here to allow the knight to move, then I take with the knight. And he can't, if he takes with the knight, then I take with the queen, and it's defended. So he can't any longer, he can try playing pawn here to defend the, but then I'm going to be playing bishop pawn here. And if he takes with the bishop, then I'll take with the knight. And yeah, so if he takes this pawn, I'll take the pawn with the knight. And I'm threatening to take the knight and win the bishop. So I like this variation of the French defence. I think I get a good position also. And if he moves his bishop, okay, so then I just take the pawn. And even if he plays the bishop here to defend the knight, I take the knight, and then when he takes the bishop, takes the knight, I'll take the bishop. So that's his centre dissolved. And yeah, I'm happy with that. Suppose he can come here with his queen. Quite a good move. Then I play here with the bishop to defend the pawn. So I'm ready to castle as well. So now I'm ready to castle. He's ready to castle, but he can't castle because I take the knight, he takes the knight, I take the bishop, I take the knight, and then I'm threatening the bishop as well. So, you know, he has to get the bishop also there. He has to play bishop to d6, and then I castle. Maybe I take the pawn first, and take the knight first. No, he takes the pawn, I castle. Or maybe I play bishop to b2. It's quite a good move. Threatening his king slip position, yeah. But this just gets me a pawn, doesn't it? Because I can take the pawn, he takes with the knight, I take with the bishop, he takes with the pawn, and I take with the pawn and say check. And I'm threatening the bishop again, so, oh, no, this doesn't work either. Okay, I'm just going to swap off the queens. Develop the bishop. And if he attacks the bishop, then I come to c3 with the bishop. And I'm going to castle kingside and attack the bishop next. Oh, I'm going to play that first. Yep. Okay. It's a good move actually to play rook here to come. You know, I haven't got as much out of this advantage I got in the opening as I should have done. But that's good. And he takes the pawn, of course. And I'm going to come here with the knight. No, don't be silly. I'm going to come here with the knight. So I'm threatening to come to... No, I'm not. Okay, I'll come here with a rook. Yeah, okay. So I've just got a pawn for my troubles on, and his position is fairly bad, but I do need to be... yeah, but then I can just double up on the knight. Can't I? And alright, you can play a rook here. I take... oh, I can't. Okay, but then I'll play rook here. And I'm still threatening the pawn here. I'm still threatening to come here with the knight, so yeah. It's good enough, yeah. I have to look out for that possible mate. And now I'm threatening the pawn here, and if he moves I'm threatening the pawn here, and I'm threatening to come here with the knight and attack the pinned knight. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. I'm going to take with this pawn and then play this pawn to make a escape square for my king. And then I'm threatening to win the pawn here. And also threatening to come here and attack the pinned knight. Yeah, but then I get to play here. And then I get to take this pawn and take this pawn. He comes here to defend. I take this pawn. He comes here with the king and I take this pawn. And then think about attacking his king. So then I'm 5 pawns against 2 winning position. So in one or other way, I've gotten enough out of my advantage, but I've definitely missed good chances here, which I hope to catch in the review. Yeah, I have to do that, and then I have to do that. Oh, and he can't come to oh, that was stupid. Because now he can come to e6, but then I take the pawn. And then I've got, oh well, I can come here with the king first. and then he's taken away his only good square for his rook. So take here. Okay, then he gives his rook the square back. But then I'll come here, threaten the rook. Yeah, check here. Yeah, got another check here. Well, of course he's threatening mate now. That was dumb. Yep. Looks like I'm going to have to win this on time. Okay, well, no, I'm not. Because can play here and threaten the knight. If he takes the pawn, of course, we'll pawn rook here check to win the knight. Then I can come here. Oh, that was dumb. Yeah, okay, well, I had him there, as you know, and messed it up. Okay, I'm just gonna review this game first and then the other. Oof, that was painful, but you know, I am very tired. It happens. Yep, 5 misses. Oh no, one miss, 1 blunder, 4 mistakes. Okay. Yep. Yeah, it's very even though, but this is an accuracy for it because it makes it very difficult for him to retain that pawn, and that's the best move. And that's the best. And that's the best. And that's the best. And now I get to take the pawn and yeah, bishop to b5 was a sorry. Yeah, that was best. That was an inaccuracy because it allows me to get the pawn. Yeah. That was best. Okay, so what was best there? Of course. And then I can threaten the queen with the pawn. With the bishop. Knight, even. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yep. Okay. I should have played the other rook to c1. Yeah, okay, I can understand that. Okay, yeah. But I like that I get the pin here. Yeah, I should have just played it forward one square, of course. Yep. Says it's a great move. Yeah, that was a miss. I should have taken the pawn, of course, because now he gets to come here. But still, he is slightly up now. I should have played the pawn check first, because I'm threatening the knight anyway, yes. Yeah, and that was just a blunder, because he gets to threaten mate, and now he's on the front foot all the time. And that was just stupid. Which leads to mate in 5, which he finds. Very nicely. I couldn't have run this way, the knight stops me from running that way. So yeah, I finished it off nicely. A deserved win, but yeah. Okay, I'll just look at the other game, quickly review that. Yeah, that was a better game. 80% more or less accuracy. Yeah. Yeah, last book move, 0.62. That's inaccurate. You should just, as I said, go all the way back. Now we get to set the pawn. We get to set the pawn. He castles, but it's not doing him any good because I should have played bishop to threaten mate, of course, and then I could have, yes, and then I could have castled long. That's the right idea. But yeah, I should have played here to threaten mate. But you see, I'm well up, and of course I should have taken the pawn to win the rook, or not win the rook, force off the swap, and then, yeah, then retreat the bishop. Again, I should just take the, yeah, okay, yeah. And he can't take back because it will be mate, and then there's nothing to do there. So yeah, reasonable first game. Good game for my opponent in the second game, bad game for me. But I suppose he could equally say the opposite. Okay, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the video, make a comment. Yeah, okay, thanks, bye.